Recording. Hold on. Okay. Is it? Yes, I think it is. So, hi Bonolo, thank you for doing this.
Hey.
The first question I wanted to ask you, just because obviously you've got your performative practice and then your kind of printmaking and kind of sculptural practice, and they feel very different because the performance is so kind of satirical and ironic, and
Yes.
and the sculpture feels and the printmaking feels more like serious and formalistic and based in art history. And basically what
Yes.
I wondered was, do you kind of perceive these different practices as coming from the same place, or do you kind of think of one as an escape from the other? Yeah, tell me a little bit about.
That's a cool question. I see it as each sort of practice has the same intention, and that's to, first of all, not be serious, have fun, and do something that's different, and hopefully that's never been not never seen before. You can't really achieve that, but if I can do something that I know somebody else hasn't done or someone close to me hasn't done, I feel like I've achieved something. So I remember, for instance, with my first video artwork, I've always loved performing. Like, I love being behind the camera, in front of the camera. So I did drama classes. I took drama classes in high school, and then kind of dropped out because of something bad that happened. So then I kind of forgot about that. And then in varsity, I had an opportunity to take video art as an elective, and I was like, oh my gosh, let's do this. Let's have fun with this medium. So I remember so it was a 2-week class, and everybody who took the class, like, I was in a very good year, I must say. Like, there were really strong artists in my year, and everybody in that class was very serious. Like, all their projects were like on point, perfect, and my sort of, when I did the video artwork, I thought I was being serious, but obviously I wasn't. But I remember when everybody presented their ideas, like, people had taken shots and like all these different kind of views, and they really studied like the medium and the camera and so on. And what I did is I basically recorded myself pulling faces in front of the mirror. And I can't remember what the idea was or my concept was, but I remember showing it in front of the class, and the whole class, it was just like very awkward, and only one person laughed, and it was the other lecturer. There were 2 lecturers, and the one lecturer, after she watched that video, she just basically like went at me. She was just like, what do you think you're doing? Do you not understand the medium? Like, what's wrong with you? And she was just basically like shouting at me. She thought I hadn't thought about it, like I hadn't done my work.
Yeah.
Whereas I honestly, like, I went in there thinking I'm going to present something different.
Yeah.
So it was just about sort of having a not so typical relationship with the things that you're given to work with. So that was my video. So obviously after that whole episode, I thought, oh well, I'm not good enough for video art. Never touched it, never thought about it.
Yeah.
And then later on I came across, I did video again, and I guess pulling faces in front of the mirror became a little bit more serious, where I'm like acting as like this Black Mona Lisa, like. So I think the intention to pull faces at something, or to use the camera to allow you to do that sort of thing, still stuck with me. So with video art and performance, it's just like, pulling faces at I don't know, whatever it is you're thinking about at the time. So even with printmaking, it was like, when I encountered printmaking, it was a thing. Oh, I remember in my 3rd year, I presented this, what I thought was conceptual, like a conceptual idea for print. And the printmaking lecturer, she was actually an invited lecturer, so she didn't know us, she didn't know the students. And I had this grand idea, and it was conceptual and abstract. And she just kind of went, like, she rejected it. She was like, I don't know what kind of work you make, or I haven't seen the kind of work you do before, but I don't know if this is, this is kind of your lane type of thing.
Yeah.
And then I just thought, like, but other students don't get turned away for like thinking up ideas that aren't so typical. So then I was kind of like, you know what, I'll be damned if I'm gonna carve a picture, for printmaking, or make something that's black and white. Wow, excuse me. So again, in that moment, it's a thing of, well, I'm gonna pull a face at that and just, I'm not gonna make pictures. Like, I don't know, I just felt like there's a certain expectation, like if you, I don't know, maybe I'm taking it too far or too personal, but if you're a Black student or a Black artist, it's just something, people expect something of you. I mean, if you don't do that, it's kind of like not sort of digested as easily. So I do want to make people sort of like not have a easy time digesting it, but then also enjoy it.
And I think I see that
at the
in
same time.
forms in both of your kind of practices, in the sense that like your video is kind of laughing at art history and kind of using
Exactly.
culture to do that. And even in your printmaking, because you're coming from such a formalistic place and not from an identity-based kind of place, I think that people are often surprised by your work, just because there's kind of that identity box that Black artists have been put in. So I get the rebellion happening on both sides.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so like when you're sitting down, like how do you kind of decide what you kind of want to be working on at a given moment? Like, is there kind of a place in your mind where you're thinking like, okay, I want to sit down and do research and like make something, or is it all very organic and you're just doing what you're feeling in the moment?
Man, it's kind of, it's so organic. Like sometimes I love it and sometimes I hate it. So for instance, with the Black Mona Lisa, creating that persona, it's something that, like, the idea will stick with me for about 2 years. Like I'll just think about it, daydream, fantasize about it.
Mm-hmm.
But but then it's just all in my head. And then, especially with this idea, and then I remember Michaelis actually came up to me and she said, I'm curating this exhibition. I'm putting together this exhibition at Zeitz. Would you like to present a video? And then I was like, perfect opportunity. Like finally, this idea can leave me. So I do sit with like different ideas and I fantasize a lot about the things that I want to do, and whatever opportunity sort of comes my way. And then if that idea fits the opportunity, I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
So I could be watching, like, I don't know, like now I'm stuck on the Real Housewives of Johannesburg.
Yeah, seen it.
Like binge. I wake up and it's the first thing I want to watch. So even I'll watch something like that, and one of the characters could say something, or they could be experiencing like anything, and anyone can just spark an idea in my head. But it's also a lot of what inspires me is just pop culture, first of all, but like also just watching movies. I am a junkie for like YouTube. Like
Yeah.
like these YouTubers, makeup gurus, like just people with personality. Like I latch onto that. So that's why I'll watch like The Real Housewives of Johannesburg. Like I'm really into people who are like above average in terms of in whatever field they are in.
Yeah.
So I look at other people doing a lot in whatever field they're in, and I'm like, how I'm fueled by other people's energy.
Yeah.
So that's also inspiration. But if I latch onto something, then I'll really like if I feel like it's becoming an obsessive thought, then I can read up on it or do my research. And yeah, but it's always just I mean, I can watch a comedy and I'll watch a crime story and I'll watch a YouTube video, and then somehow something in each of them will just like spark a connection, and then I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, I've been thinking
Organic.
about that, your prints and your kind of sculptural objects kind of seem to come from a more quiet place. But I know, for example, that you use like magazines and things like that within your print. Kind of speak about that process as well. Like,
Yeah.
I'd like to start a print.
So the same thing with, for instance, like as I'll watch a lot of series or YouTube and so on. I also read a lot of visual, like, and I think that's what people, I don't know if people do this, but not even reading text or anything, but reading art. So I'll go to different gallery websites, or there's this amazing blog called I Like This Art, but I have to see other people's artworks. It's like reading visuals. And I think some people, and you can see it sometimes, you're sort of stuck on making art that somebody else makes, or your sort of typical conventional ways of making art, because that's what you think you think that's the only thing that can exist as art. But if you just go on the internet and just look and look, just find visual clues. But I look at art, I look at other examples, and I'm not like, and I will admit this, but like I take a lot of ideas. So, but the trick is to, or steal ideas. So the trick is to look at different things and then see where you can combine one idea with the other, so that if you make your work one, and this is also another trick, is that as an artist, I feel like you should obviously have a signature look, but someone should never be able to say, oh, that looks like Khanya's work, or that looks like so-and-so's work. Like that is a Bonolo artwork. But my trick is I look for ingredients all over the internet, books, just look at art, old, new, and then just literally it's about stealing ideas, because no new work is completely new. You know, you either take from somebody else, from somebody else.
And you definitely feel that in your work, like that you're stealing, but that it feels like you're stealing in a way that's kind of new and your own. It doesn't feel like an exact copy of anything. But like,
not at all.
like a synthesis of all the different ideas that you're having, and it does feel quite explicit. And I think that's partly why I kind of, that's how I connect your different practices in my mind, that there's like parody, and then there's also kind of like reappropriation, and those things kind of come from the same place. Yeah, I totally get that. And then I wanted to ask, is there kind of a medium right now that you haven't used yet that you're thinking of trying next?
Painting.
Painting?
Well, I have, but I actually bought a canvas like last week, and I'm gonna be painting.
Oh, that's so cool.
I want to paint again.
That sounds really interesting. I've never seen a painting by you. I think that would be really amazing.
Hey man, I'm also excited. But again, I'm like, how can I present this painting in a way that's not a painting? But I know it'll be painting. But again, I'm excited to change how to present a painting. Like I'm just thinking about that a lot. So again, on the internet, seeing how other people have done it, how other people have sort of broken the rules and made exciting things.
Yeah. And then also, I mean, just thinking about like fantasy and like fantasizing about work. There's that. I'm not sure if you've seen Hans Ulrich on Instagram, and he's like always talking about like asking artists like, "What's your dream project?" And I think that that's a really interesting question. Like, what is, if you had no expenses barred, space wasn't an issue, like what would your dream project be?
Oh my God. My dream project is to create a musical. Yeah, on art, but and design the set and everything, and have like and also just the music, like an orchestra, a whole, like, just like think Annie or Cats or even Chicago.
Yeah, like a proper musical.
But like proper live, about art, and just like have people in like bodysuits, like sculptures, and something whack. That's what that is my aim in life, is to create a musical, like a theater production, and that'll be like just like performed in future, like for years and years and years.
That sounds insane. Okay, I'm imagining it in my head. It sounds incredible. And then I also wanted to ask, this, like, what kind of challenges do you feel like you face as an artist? And this can be either like a formal or conceptual challenge, but also like, is there, in terms of your career, like, is there other things that you feel like you're trying to overcome currently?
At the moment, it's so funny because I wish I had more hours in the day.
Yeah.
Like right now, I've got like a 9-to-5 job, which is cool. Still working for me. I'm learning a lot. But what is the challenge really? my personal challenge is discipline, self-discipline. That's it. To make art when I don't feel like it, I'm still learning, because it's such a fun thing and you're passionate about it, but it's hard to try not to confuse like you being like, if you're just generally tired, it doesn't mean that like you're out of passion, or just if it's 10 o'clock and you haven't done anything and you can't do anything more, it doesn't mean that you. So with me, just personally, it's just like this. I'm very self-critical when I am not. Oh God, I'm not even making sense. Like,
no, I actually completely get you.
I don't know when to relax. I can't take a break, and if I do take a break, it's like it feels like I'm not passionate for my passion, and then so
yeah. And I think it's also come from a place because you come from a place where you spend so much time like reading and watching and looking at other things. Like in a sense, that's work too, but it never feels like work.
It is.
Like
I can't even enjoy like a series without thinking, oh, how like what can I take from this? Like what art? So it's always art on my mind, and which is fine. But okay, so personal struggle is just self-discipline, knowing when to relax, or if I'm not making art, to see that to just relax out of it. I cannot separate art from like my everyday. Other personal challenges is just not personal, but just I think you'll never have enough time. So trying to figure out when is the artwork finished, when is it good enough, when is it good enough to stop and move on to next.
Yeah, I get that. And I think that's kind of the advantage. And just I feel like I've got a similar brain to you when it comes to like writing, in that I want to like borrow and steal. And in that sense, like if I'm appropriating, then it's fine if I'm sitting around watching Real Housewives, because I'm like,
right,
it's informing what
this is work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, completely. Yeah, I think that I think those are all my questions for now. There's going to be a day sometime soon where we're going to be able to meet in person and have a drink and have a long chat.
A drink and a long chat.